I think sometimes men can get a misguided view of what loving their wife looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think my concern is that maybe they walk through the motions of, I work and provide money for the household. I protect them from someone, you know, coming in the door, and I drag them to church. Is that our manly man?
That's it.
Is that it?
Well, I think you look at, you know, Ephesians 5, you know, is pretty, love your wife as Christ loved the church, and man, you can take that forever on that. What does that mean? What Christ looks for your best interests. He died for you. You know, it's kind of a protection thing. He looks at us as spotless and blameless and without wrinkle, and you know, looking at your wife positively and building her up. I think all those things are all involved with being a godly. Well, and
I think the detail. I think the manliness is in the details.
Agreed.
I think the manliness is you know, am I providing support to my wife? Am I there for her when she wants to talk? Am I there for her, you know, when she wants to spend time together? It's not enough for me
when she wants it. That's key.
Yeah,
that's key. Not just when you decided she can have it.
Yeah. It's the kid thing. It's the same thing, you know. Oh, but I'll make time to spend time with you, baby. You know, for a couple hours in this week.
Won't you be lucky?
We get away with the same stupid thing that we get away with the kids, and it's a sad state. And I think we really gotta fight out of that thing where our responsibilities are not just to get a wife and then let her run the house, have kids, you know, and be the fly-by-night dad. I mean, we have responsibilities in those, and they have to do with both protecting but also nurturing our wives, nurturing our children. You know, it's the one of the worst things I think can happen, or well, it's not the worst, but it makes it very difficult. Is the drag to church, is not facilitating the example of Christ in the house, of leadership, of Christian leadership within the house. It's I'm going to take them to church and they're going to take care of it, and then we don't talk about it, we don't speak about it. You know, I don't have to provide.
I absolutely think that can cause more damage in some young men, young children, men or women, when they see their parents living out a different value system than what they see, you know, said in the church, and them, you know, agreeing and saying they're friends, you know, in the crowd and acting, you know, doing their Christianese is what I call it. You know, their Christian talk, and then they go home, and that is exasperating your children. It's embittering them. Because they see one value system lived out at church, and then another at home, and there's this dichotomy between, you know, one parent in the church and then one you know, parent at home, and that causes a bitterness, I would say, to a lot of children. You know, they look at their parents and they say, "Man, you know, be real, be true, so I can at least know what's real." And it obviously it's embittered a great generation of young people, because one of the fastest growing religions today is Wiccan, witchcraft, and that the demographic growing that cult or religion is young Christian men and women, and they've been quoted as saying, you know, their reasons for getting into Wiccan is they grew up in the church and they saw their parents and saw the adults say one thing, but they lacked power in their lives. And I think that adds to, you know, fathers absolutely, you know, dragging their children to church, and but not really having the passion in their hearts. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so, and I think maybe that goes a little bit to answer the question of, you know, what is to lead spiritually. I think is the action of leading, is not to not placate, is to not try to lead with words, is to not try to it's to lead with action. You know, if I'm not going to tell you to live in existence, that I'm not going to, with every breath in my body, attempt to lead on my own.
And that's why I find danger in finding all these benchmarks almost sometimes. I love benchmarks for their takeaways, but sometimes I'm scared of creating benchmarks for men, because they can check those things off as just actions, but they lack the heart behind it, and the passion and the integrity behind it. And what ends up happening is you create religion. You create religious men, and that's why I really am careful not just to tell men what to do and what to look like, but at the bottom line, to love Jesus and pursue a relationship with Jesus, not just act out these manly things or be a godly man, but to love Jesus and pursue a relationship with Jesus. And you know, that's a difficult thing to do. That's authentic, genuine.
Well, I think that's the truth.
in your home and in your workplace and in your neighborhood. You
Absolutely.
know, you're the Jesus representative
Absolutely.
wherever you're at. You know, you're the guy.
Absolutely.
You know, and as soon as you own up to that responsibility and realize that it is a responsibility, you know, the sooner that you can embrace it and ask the Lord to give you the guidance and the spirit to do it. And man, I just can't imagine that you could be any happier.
Yeah, you know, and I've probably, I can't remember whether I've told this story before, but it was probably 6 months ago. I was in my workplace, and I was just looking around. I'd been in a meeting with a lot of like the higher ups, the bigger cheeses in the company, and for some reason during that meeting, the one thing that occurred to me is like, let's say the building got hit. There was of course no earthquake here, but like something begat the building, and there was trouble. Like, you know, who's the spiritual leader in this room? You know, I know what these guys make. I know what they do. I know where they're at in a corporate structure. But like, I may very well be the only Christ follower in the room. And then I thought, do they know that? Like, would they know that in a situation? Would they know? You know, I don't know what's going on here. I'm confused. I'm worried. I should go find Ben Foust because he knows Christ. You know, and that says nothing about me except to the extent that I'm probably doing what I should be doing if they know they can find Jesus by coming and asking me questions, because I can point them in the right direction. And you know, to me, like, that settles me a little bit as far as where I'm at. It's my job is to be that leader wherever I'm at. You know, I don't need the big chair. Frankly, I could be scrubbing the John. We've talked about this before. It's like the guy scrubbing the John for Christ is the same as the guy giving the sermon. It's, you know, that's where you're called. And you know, the question for me, and I think probably the question, you know, if you're sitting out there and you're feeling like your position following Christ and your ability to influence others isn't what you think it should be, my question is, you know, look around at the people that you're working with. Just stop and look at them and think, let's say something happens right now. The building's on fire. You know, and they're thinking, oh goodness, what are we going to do? I wish I knew Christ. Do they know to look at you? You know, and you know what I realized 6 months ago is they don't. I have a ton of room to grow there. There might be a few, and it's not because I'm the abrasive guy that goes around with the you know, trust Jesus pin and the bat with his face on it. You know,
Jesus bat.
But it should be that, like, you know, they walk by, and if there's any question, yeah, that guy loves the Lord. Yeah, you know, how they feel about it, I don't care. That's not the point. I'm not there to cause frustration or ire or anything. It's just that just is what it is. Otherwise, my day is your day. But I love God, and you need to know that. You know, and that's where they would go. You know,
well, you know, frankly, it keeps a lot of situations from coming up that you don't want to be involved in. You know what I'm saying? Like the more outward, you know, like we said, not abrasive Jesus bat, but the more outward you are about the lifestyle that you live, you know, the less that they pass by your desk or at the end of the day on the job site and say, hey, we're going to the strip club. You want to go?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They just don't ask.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's less responsible you are too. They're not going to come to you to help them out.
Right. You don't have to try to, you know, you don't have to try to come up with something fancy or tell a lie. You know what I'm saying? Your lifestyle dictates that he's probably not going to go, you know? So whatever, we'll just not ask him. We're fine, you know? And you know what? That keeps you out of a lot of situations of where people who follow Christ, that's where they start to get uncomfortable. You know, they're like, you know, I do love my God, but I don't want to impress my religion on you so much that now you don't like me. You know what I'm saying? And so, but when the way that you live your life is so obvious, you know, that you don't have to go around hitting them with the Jesus bat. That they just know, you know.
Right.
You know, once again, I mean, that's what you want to strive for, you know. So it takes you out of those situations.
You know, it's